This MMA content is proudly brought to you by the AllStar app, a fully customizable ad-free sports experience. Download it now.
Dwight, let's just kick it off with Will Smith, man, slapping Chris Rock. I just want to get your reaction off that. You know, that's just one of the most random things that has ever happened in the last 20 years, I believe. And you know what?
Dude.
Did you think it was real or staged at first?
Yeah, I thought it was real because of the way Chris Rock like staggered back like this, and I was like, dude, if this is fake, that's some great acting because I've never seen somebody stagger like that in a real in a movie like that. You know, they always go, oh, and they fall over, but he just and staggered back. I was like, wow. You know what? I really felt bad for him, man. I really felt bad for Chris Rock because he's a small guy, right? And this other dude played Ali in a movie. You know what I mean? I was like, this is such a mismatch. And immediately, in the half second that it happened, I started figuring out who's gonna win this fight. Yeah, come on, okay, it's gonna be a fight. You know? And there was no type of recourse from Chris Rock. So that made me really feel even more bad for him, like that. You know, and then he was like, oh, it was a G.I. Jane joke. And I'm like, yeah, G.I. Jane, I mean, the Demi Moore, she's a cool character, you know. I didn't even I knew it was because of the hair, but I didn't think of it as an insult. Like if you'd have said Sinead O'Connor or Mr. Clean or Schmeagol or somebody, I'd have been like, oh, he's trying to insult this person. But I thought it was more like a, you have short hair joke, you know. But man, I definitely wasn't. That was not the response I expected. Not from Will Smith. You know what I mean? I guess. I had Will Smith toys when I was a kid.
He's an inspiration for a lot of people, man. I feel like that kind of did a lot of damage to his reputation throughout the world.
Well, yeah. I remember his whole thing about being on a treadmill. You're not gonna outwork me. You know what I mean? Like all these things that he said, and it inspired me. Even when he turned, what was it, 50, and he had the whole thing where he was going around the world doing all these different things. I was like, man, look at this guy. He's still trying to live life. He's experienced so much, and that was something that really was against his character that he's built, his image that he's built. And people are like, "Oh, that's the real Will Smith." No, it's not the real Will Smith. The real Will Smith, I don't know the guy, obviously. You know what I mean? But the guy you've consistently been seeing for years is who he is. Even if he's pretending to be that person, that's who he is, as far as we're concerned. But he definitely had a bad night, and he was going through a lot of things that people have been making fun of him for a long time. I mean, for the past couple of years, I've seen some memes that are hilarious, but also, it's going to get under your skin. So I think he just snapped at that moment. And unfortunately, it was on a night where everybody was kind of rooting for him and hoping to be the best night of his life. I've been waiting for this guy to get an Oscar. You know what I mean? And they're like he deserved his Oscar. Finally, he didn't get one for what was that movie he did? It was some movie he did recently. He didn't get an Oscar for this, and there was no Oscar. So that night was one of the biggest nights of his life probably. And now no one knows anything else that happened tonight except for he smacked this guy.
Exactly. Well, I guess that's one way of having people pay attention to the Oscars because normally people didn't really care about those awards at all. So
that's true.
So hey, speaking of living life, man, you're living life. You got a fight coming up April 23rd.
Yeah.
Your first appearance in the octagon this year. You're facing this Russian that has a Muay Thai base, which is something that is somewhat uncommon in this industry. What do you think of this matchup?
It's great. I mean, I read that he complained about not wanting to go on the ground and not liking grappling because the last guy was grappling him and he's more of a striker. So that definitely means he's gonna try to take me down. Definitely means he's gonna try to take me down. So we're definitely gonna strike. I'm trying to end this fight as quickly as possible, and I don't mean that in I want to get out of there way. I want to enjoy my time there, but I'm trying to finish it. And it's not even in a mean and aggressive kind of way either, but I do want to finish this fight. I love kickboxing and Muay Thai, so I know we're going to at least get a good, probably 2-3 minutes of striking, and I'm going to be aggressive for sure, But he's going to try to take me down. So he's going to try to take me down, and when that happens, I'll be able to defend it and do all this other stuff, but I just expect him to try to take me down within the first round at some point,
But what if he doesn't even attempt to, he doesn't even like feint to take you down, then that means what for you as the fight goes?
That means it's not gonna last more than a round. It's gonna be like a 1 round fight. There's no way that this is gonna last. Yeah, like, and it's not even because of his skill. Look, I don't know this guy really. Like, I saw his fight, and like, you know what I mean. I like his style personally. Like, his style. Maybe you start watching all these Russian boxing videos. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, but at the same time, it's like, I know I can finish this person because I see where he has trouble. He has trouble in places where I shine. You know, so it's like, it's gonna be really, really hard for him to last 3 rounds against me with, you know, me attacking him and trying to finish the fight. Because now, like, my whole mindset towards fighting has changed. My energy towards everything has been totally turned upside down because I had an image of who I thought I was in the ring, and then like this last fight kind of showed me I'm not that guy. You know, I'm a whole different person. So I'm ready to go out there and show this off, and then, you know, experience it.
Yeah, speaking with you, the last few fights, I feel like that kind of transformation has been something of a slower transformation of you realizing like this is what you look like inside. Because we talked about it many times before.
Yeah.
This is not the first time. So what about that last fight, though, that kind of made you realize that?
Well, you know, man, when I first started fighting, like, you know, I was really like concerned about. It's gonna sound so stupid, but like getting jumped after the fight because I couldn't imagine like like you could go beat somebody up and then you could just walk outside and everything will be okay, you know. And that was always like on the corner of my mind. Even my coaches at the time were like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. It's a sanctioned event." And I'm like, "Nah, man, you guys gonna jump." So that was something that was always in my mind. And then going forward, and I always felt like the part of my mind that separated fighting in the ring from fighting outside of the ring was like a very thin line. You know what I mean? It was very thin. But then as you know, started getting more, I guess, professional about it, you know, I really started to make a distinction. But I always still felt like, man, somebody fouls me in a fight, I'm gonna lose it and I'm gonna destroy this person. But then that didn't happen. I ended up getting fouled back to back. And man, like, my martial arts journey really started with JKD, which is like you know, in street fighting. So I have like a whole bunch of ways of fouling people. You know what I mean? Like many ways. Yeah. So I didn't even think about doing any of that stuff. I was just like, okay, well, you know, we can keep fighting and the fight will continue, and you know. And I started being very like technical about it. And when I got home, like not even after the fight, but when I got home, I was so angry at myself for not retaliating. And then not necessarily not following him back, but at least like getting a good shot into, and you know what I mean? Like, hey man, you did something bad. Here's what, you know, something to remember the fight. And that let me know that anger is not in my heart anymore to save me from being in any kind of danger in these situations. I'm gonna have to rely on, you know, being curious and being technical and understanding the game and that kind of thing, as opposed to just being like, oh, I'm gonna finish this person because I'm ferocious. You know, like I'm sure that I can get that way, but the walk up to ferocious or ferocity, you know, is not the same as it was when I was like 19. You know what I mean? It's a different route now. So I think I found it, you know?
Yeah, a calming effect in a way.
Yeah, but now I'm too calm, you know? Because, all right, so as much as I know that this stuff is dangerous, fighting is like, it's too like, what's the word here I'm looking for here? It's too, I say common, or I know it too well, you know? Like, man, like if you ever been jumped, you know that fighting one guy with a referee is not the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same level of like tension. So for me, it's just not as fear inducing as it used to be. It doesn't have the same kind of thing, because I know for a fact that this is a sport, you know. And yeah, people do some weird stuff sometimes, you know, but it's still a sport. So with it being a sport, I have to find my way of unlocking that potential, that activity, through a more, I say, intellectual means instead of a more passionate way, which I thought was what always protected me. Like, man, no matter what happens, if somebody's like, I'm trying not to, if somebody's acting wild with me, I'm gonna get wild back. And that's true with aggression. But if somebody did something like, you know, Skull Douglas, like poke me in the eye or whatever it is, my first response in a sporting event is not going to be to retaliate. It's going to be to, you know, make it to the end of the round and check on myself and make sure, you know. So I got to find different ways, and I think I have, man. I've done a lot of work on it.
You've gone to a split decision 4 times in the UFC, and it's crazy because it goes down to like one judge to decide like what happens with this result. How nerve-wracking is it to be in that position so many times? Because, you know, what is going through your mind as well? Like at that moment, it's like a split second.
Well, you know, it's crazy you ask that question. Yeah, that's what's been on my mind for the past like 3 weeks. It's this moment, and I'm trying to articulate the best I can. It's like I want to be, I want to be just unable to even think at that time. Yeah, I wanted to just like go by and get to the point. You don't need to try to make it dramatic, like, and so and so says so and so, and this person's $4,000, and this one, you know, and they kind of build it up in suspense. Torturous. Like for me, I'm like, come on, man, this position, because I always feel like I know I outpointed this guy. I should be winning. How did I get? What's going on? You know, because I did kickboxing before, and like I'm used to like tallying up the score in my head, and 99% of the time I'm right, and now all of a sudden it's split decision. So it is scary. But I don't want to be there anymore. And if I am, I have to be so tired that I can't even process what's going on, you know? And I think before I was so scared that like I was gonna get tired that I went the other way where like, okay, I got about a good like 7 minutes of fight in me. I gotta finish in the first round. You hear me? I gotta finish this fight. Then I started getting more resources and being able to train more and train longer. And now I know I could do like 4 or 5 rounds, right? So I don't have that urgency to finish the fight as I used to, which was like, man, you got to finish the fight within the first round, second round. Otherwise, you're going to get destroyed. So taking all that into consideration, I don't want to be in this position anymore. And the only answer is for me to just go all out. You know what I mean? Because I'm naturally going to like pull the brakes at some point. But I know now that I shouldn't be trying to keep myself from getting tired. I should be trying to put myself in positions where I have to recover constantly, you know? And then that's going to be a fight. And that's how I used to fight. So I'm going into it that way.
Man, you've been, you know, transforming, you know what I mean, the last couple of fights. It seems like more mentally than anything, because you've been training for so long, you've been fighting for so long, so your skills are there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a great point because I keep telling people now, like, everybody is training the same way. Like you watch YouTube or like watch the social media stuff like Instagram or whatever. You see everybody do the same exercises. Everybody, all of us. You are bantamweight, you are heavyweight. Everybody do the same exercises. Even if you could do one exercise all the time, it doesn't mean you're in better shape. You know, we're all in good shape. You would have to be I don't even want to. You have to be a fool to do this sport and then like not be in shape for it. You know, so everybody's in shape, but the thing about it is mentally, can you unlock that potential at that moment, at that time? You know, and there are varying degrees of that. And people who are the best, you know, the champions, you know, you see them, you hear their stories, and they have messed up situations. You know, you have Michael Jordan with having like the flu. You have different things that happen with Anderson Silva when he had his like water documentary. Everybody has things going on, but you have to be able to turn it on at that moment. And I feel like I've been complacent in that. In my life, by the grace of God, anytime something happened to me, like altercation-wise, I've always found a way to like get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm good. You know, and that works to some extent in the fight, but not to win the way I want to. But fortunately, you never see me get beat up in the ring. You know what I mean? Like if I've lost, it hasn't been. This guy whooped Dwight behind. Good Lord, you know. But at the same time, just not getting beat up isn't winning. You know what I mean? Like I gotta go out there and be ferocious and dominate. And to do that, it's a lot of steps involved beyond just spending extra 2 hours in the gym or being the first in the gym and the last out of the gym. You do it all day. But if you get to that fight, you're not doing it, then you know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole thing is like when you got a guy that is not performing at his best, but still finds a way to beat his opponent who is performing at their best. That's like I think that's the biggest win you could have in your career, right? It could be, it doesn't matter who you're fighting.
That's, you see guys like Anderson Silva, you know, I mean, guys like Anderson Silva, you know, but like, you know, these like elite champions, they have a way of finding a victory. I mean, look at that fight with Chael Sonnen. Like people say like, oh, Anderson was holding out. Chael Sonnen, as much as people make fun of him now, like for all the things that he says, like, dude, he was really a threat to Anderson Silva at that fight. Like it was no game, man. This guy is talented. He's good. I mean, you can't just judge it by his record or whatever it is. This guy came in there and he hit him in the first round a couple times. Like he had him on the ground, pinning him down, chest pressed down by his shoulder. A lot of stuff was happening. And even me as a fan, like the biggest Anderson Silva fan in the world, was like, dude, we lost this one. I hope, yeah, I'm talking about, hopefully the rematch, blah, blah, blah. You got to get a rematch, you know? And then all of a sudden, yeah. So that kind of thing is just going to show being comfortable everywhere, being calm is a big part of it. But the performance, you know, like, can you perform at that moment? And obviously, a person like him who's accustomed to success, accustomed to winning, is never going to give up on themselves. You know, they're never, oh man, I lost this fight. They're going to try to win. I really feel like I do that in the sense where I never think I'm going to lose no matter what. You know, I can win this. A 1% chance. It's 1%. You know, but I still have to make that move. I have to do things to put myself in a position to win that win. I just feel that way, but to get the win. And it's again, it is about unlocking that mental stuff. It's not just you know, hoping.
Yeah, exactly. Now going back to your fight, your opponent Sergey, you know, I mean, when you look at his striking style, what makes it different from yours?
Different from mine? I mean, he's definitely using his ability, his length, and his body type to the best. He's using his range. You know, his footwork is compensating for some holes in his boxing. His footwork fixes it up a bit. You know, so he can be kind of free and to express himself. But you know, I was sparring with Luke Rocco for like 7 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like a tall guy that hits hard is what I'm accustomed to. You know, but this guy, you know, he's my size. You know? So I'm happy about that. His style is different from mine more that he doesn't do kung fu. So I mean, he's gonna be doing straight up Muay Thai, straight up boxing, and I'm gonna hit him from angles that he's not accustomed to, which I'm sure that his coaches are probably preparing him for some of that. But training for this fight, I've leaned more into me than anything else. I've done Muay Thai, I've done boxing, but I've also done a lot of kung fu, a lot of kali, a lot of Hadouken, a lot of things that like I love doing. I even started watching like martial arts movies again. Like I haven't watched some of these old movies in so long, and I know it seems like it's like separate, but when I first started training, I used to watch a movie every single day before I went to class. Like, yo, today, all right, police story. All right, cool. Today, all right, snake and crane. Okay, you know what I mean? Like before I head to class, I'll be on the train. It's like, oh, I can't wait to try this out. I'm getting like that again. Even thinking about it now, I'm way more excited. So that excitement is coming from a pure place. It sounds weird. Coming from a pure place. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to get my hands on them and do damage. It's not that. It's I can't wait to do this thing that looks so cool or like feels good when I do it or feel the wind. You know what I mean? This is the kind of stuff that gets me excited and got me excited when I first started. I think I lost it along the way trying to focus on just getting the next win. Now I'm focused on getting the next 4 or 5 wins and shaping myself and my career as who I see myself as and who I really am, as opposed to just like, you know, oh, well, I knock people out, so let me get this perfect time knockout so I can get this highlight reel. That's going to happen by the grace of God, but it's going to happen through my going through all these steps and being excited in a different way, not just waiting for it to happen. Yeah.
And your opponent, man, he hasn't fought since like 2019, which is very interesting to me because you know he fought twice in 2019 and then he just disappeared. You know, I think he had some injuries and some canceled bouts and stuff like that. But do you see that as a factor, like early on in the fight? You know, the guy that comes in without competing for a bit.
No, not really. The only thing that could really make me think my opponent is like at a disadvantage is if like they look really, really scared all the time, you know? Because I've been fighting for, you know, I mean, amateurs, professionals, and the only time I've ever seen people not perform properly is when they're afraid. If the person hasn't fought in like 10 years, it doesn't matter. They train and they've been in the gym, it's fine. They've had a hard sparring match probably. They'll fight when the time comes. They'll do something. And the best guys, my favorite people to fight, are people who are very prideful and don't want to lose. And then you feel this push when like, no, I'm better than you, you know? And they start trying to speak with their hands. And then you quiet that. And then all of a sudden you see them like they lose. You know, like that's what I like. This guy not fighting in a long time. I don't think it's gonna change his performance. He might have some new tricks I didn't see yet, you know? But I think who he is at his base is not somebody who's a frightened person that's going to be backing up and trying to, like, you know, gun shy and stuff like that. if he's like that, I would be so disappointed, dude. Like, I would be so disappointed. So I really feel like he's gonna, if anything, try to overcompensate and be more aggressive, you know. And then that's how we're gonna meet in the middle, you know, in the middle of the octagon, like that. If it's like a lot of backing up from him, and now here I come, you know, trying to be aggressive, and I see Scott backpedaling. I thought about it already, and I have ways around it, but I will be disappointed though. I'm not gonna lie, and I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think he's gonna try to be overly aggressive. You know?
So, you know, the striker's delight that everybody, you know, fiends for every event, right? They're looking at matchups like striker. This is a striker's delight. So how do you see yourself performing in this one?
Oh, great, man. Like, well, there's no real if, because I was going to say, well, if he is aggressive, well, even how I fought like 2-3 fights ago, I would knock him out like that if he was being aggressive. The problem with me is not if the person is being aggressive. If the person is not being aggressive, that's when I just be like, hey, man, what's going on? I just stand there and I'm just watching, you know? So now with my excitement for the martial arts, with my like enthusiasm to see all these new things in practice or actually happen in a fight, there's no way that he can calm me down or quiet me or make me feel like, oh, nothing's happening. I'm gonna be on him, you know, and me being on him, he's gonna have to fight back. And I've seen his 2 fights before, and he will fight, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna knock him out in the first, second round. I'm sorry, you know? 1 or 2 rounds. You know? If it goes to 3rd round, you'll see me in the corner like, how is he still here? Like, I don't believe it, you know. So I'm pretty sure it'll be over pretty quick.
All right, April 23rd, UFC Fight Night. Dwight back in action. Appreciate the time, Dwight, and I hope to be talking to you, man. Maybe 3 more times this year, hopefully.
Oh, by the grace of God. Thank you so much, man. And also, thank you for having me on here, man. I really appreciate it.